People did not have that essential blank slate. They knew what they were voting for, and they looked at evil, and they adopted it. So that's different than any election we've had in history. It's not just an election, it's a referendum on our country, and the question is, have we actually lost America? Has the American dream been dealt a devastating blow? And, we'll talk about that as we walk through this week with Faith and Freedom. But those are some of the issues that I think we have to seriously contemplate.
Well, Matt, you pointed out in our earlier discussion that the country, by virtue of affirming, again, albeit in a very close election by a razor-thin margin, the nation has affirmed this president. In some ways has affirmed his agenda, his platform, and he has, of course, adopted the platform of a party that, as you mentioned, is a platform rooted in Romans 1. What did you mean by that? Can you explain that a little bit?
Well, Romans 1 starts off with the fact that people begin to worship a creation rather than the creator. And so they look at things rather than the creator of the universe. And so they're focused on something of a self-interest, and they remove God from the equation. As a result of that, God gives them over to their own selfish passions. And part of those selfish passions result in immorality, result in debasement of the mind and of the thinking, and sexual immorality, including homosexuality in that particular section, and ultimately self-destruction. That's what ultimately happens in Romans 1. So what we ultimately had is the Democratic Party adopted a Romans 1 platform. They adopted a very liberal pro-abortion, funding pro-abortion platform, same-sex marriage for the first time in history, promoting the homosexual so-called LGBT agenda, removing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, removing God from the platform, and frankly not even being able to get enough votes to put him back in. And when it was forced in, people booed. So you really have a Romans 1 platform that's being adopted. That's the platform that Barack Obama promoted. That's the platform that he ran on. That's what he stands for. And people looked at it and adopted it. And when you adopt evil as your platform, you become evil. And you ultimately go down the road of self-destruction.